I would say that this is one of the fundamental misunderstandings of what's going on the internet. This idea that just because we can tweet a complaint and the company might get back to us, that somehow people are in control. Or this illusion that just because people want to share content on Facebook that makes them look good to their friends, that somehow they're prepared to participate in your advertising. I think it's a complete misunderstanding. If you actually think about how networks function, the power on a network goes to the guy with the biggest computer. So in most cases, that's going to be, Facebook or Google. So the individual is a tiny atom in all of this. So I think that one of the things that creative people are always interested in finding out what the problem is and diagnosing problems and finding ways of solving those problems. So creativity in general is pretty well represented, I would say, in digital organizations. One of the issues though, if you really sort of think about creativity around storytelling and an emotional context, I think in some technology-driven businesses, the urge to be efficient is kind of about stripping out human agency. Getting rid of the mediation of human beings and replacing it all with an algorithm or a server. When that happens, you get a very kind of cold, very reductive, and perhaps less seductive world to live in. Creativity is all about putting the grit into the oyster to make a pearl. It's about conflict. It thrives on a certain amount of chaos and complexity. And I think that's one of the things that we need to remember. Largely because people make decisions for emotional reasons. So we need to have emotional storytelling to kind of get that to happen. It's obvious this started with music a long time ago. We're seeing the music industry to an extent recover because they've now found formats for charging. Things like Spotify are very important. So what you have now is a much smaller industry than was there before, but there is an industry that still exists. We've obviously seen it happen in books and publishing, and Jeff Bezos sees a world where people either self-publish or Amazon publishes for you. That's quite terrifying if you think about the impact on quality. As Jonathan Franzen said recently, the world will be handed over to the yackers and the shouters and the people who, the self-promoters and the people who pay for 5-star reviews on Amazon. So I think that the vision of the disruptors is always, first and foremost, to create brutal efficiencies and get rid of the people. But the impact of that on how people earn is terrifying. You end up with an elite who take all the money, and then you end up with the people who clean their swimming pools.